Today, I'm going to explain how I brought this sketch to life for my clothing brand.
These came out so much better than I expected.
So sit down, relax, and enjoy. With a word with so many definitions, in particular, it's honing in on one specific concept, and that's from getting from point A to point B. And today I want to talk about how I brought this sketch to life, how I brought it to fruition. So basically, today I want to overlook specific principles, design inspirations, and artwork that are significant factors to the creative process. Starting with the project, I know three things in mind. I want the pants to be double knees, I want them to have a gray wash, and I want the pants to have a presence of individuality, something that's distinctively different compared to other double knee pants. Bouncing off that idea, do you know the difference between this shoe and this shoe? Or this jacket and that jacket? Or between these two hoodies? All of these images shown are examples of the 3% rule. Coined by the late Virgil Abloh himself, this rule implies that a design only needs to be altered by 3% to create something new and unique. It's about taking something existing and familiar and tweaking it slightly to make it different and innovative in a way that it retains familiarity but also offers a fresh perspective. Abloh throughout his career employed this principle, often reimagining classic or recognizable designs. As he shared in this Harvard keynote,
"Now I want to get the feeling of this, but something brand new. And how does one go about that?"
This rule is a valuable guide for anyone navigating their creative process in design. It underscores the notion that you don't need to reinvent the wheel completely. Instead, you can use familiar silhouettes and ideas as a base and then weave something new from there. Now that I have the 3% rule in mind, going back to my sketch, you can see I've already been starting to apply it with these specific lines. Inspired by the artwork by Dutch artist Pierre Mondrian, specifically from his painting, Composition with Yellow, Blue, and Red, I was trying my best to think completely based off of the 3% rule, and took inspiration from a certain portion of Mondrian's line work which I applied to the pants. My interpretation of these lines in the sketch are external applique stitches. Well, what are those, you ask? Well, basically, they're stitches from the same fabric that gets sewn over the garment, giving it a differentiating look, giving the garment more depth, more dimension. After that, I went into Photoshop and created a more realistic render of what the pants would look like after production. And honestly, right now, I'm not upset with it at all. However, I do think it's missing one key detail. When it comes to how clothing brands brand themselves, it's often overstated through large logos, tags, and labels that don't really allow the product to speak for itself. Subtle branding can be an important aspect to clothing design, as it allows the clothing to be the main focus rather than the branding itself. Subtle branding can also give this sense of exclusivity, this sense of if you know impression when seen on someone. It also helps create a timeless look, and this is especially important with brands that want to maintain a consistent image over time. A perfect example of this is Maison Margiela's 4-stitch tags. The 4 stitches are a subtle yet recognizing brand element. Their tags are small, but the placement of them on the clothing, usually on the back of the neck, is impossible to miss. And the 4 stitches are a unique yet memorable design that leave an impression that is easily associated with the brand. And most importantly, the tags don't take away from the brand's clothing design, but instead gives the brand a strong and consistent identity. Based off of this subtle branding, I kind of want to apply the same thing to the pants. The idea I have in mind is to take the 2 dots from my logo and put it on the back tag of the pants, where there would either be a woven tag or a leather label. I'd instead want to use the same external applique stitching, but put it in that location. And this way, the logo doesn't take away anything from the garment. You're really just appreciating the garment as it is. Now with all the pieces together, I'm gonna send my manufacturer this tech pack right here, explaining the dimensions and everything that I've kind of explained so far in the video. So now let's wait and see and hope for the best.
Guys, they came in. These came out so much better than I expected.
So as you can see, these pants came out, at least in my opinion, like very well and exactly how I envisioned them to be. Overall, it took like a month of back and forth between me and my manufacturer, but I was just finalizing details, making minor adjustments, but yeah, no, it definitely was a process. But the one thing I would take away from this, a lot of people just say to create and to not think about it, which I do agree with, that the only way you can get better is through consistency and experience. In that sense, I do agree. However, I do think there is a definitive line between creating without a vision and creating with intent. And I think creating with a specific intent can be more impactful and important for your brand. It brings a level of thought and this cohesiveness when it's all together that is very evident to the consumer. It was a strenuous process, but I did drop these pants for my clothing brand a while ago. But yeah, let me know if you guys would want me to redrop these. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the creative process behind how I brought my sketch to life and how I brought it to fruition.